Have you ever died and blamed it on your ping?
1 HP.
I lagged. Hello? I said, dude, I just lagged. I just lagged. I had 400 ping. I literally spiked a 400 ping. Hello? I just spiked a 400 fucking ping.
Have you ever felt that your ping was holding you back? Have you ever just in general wanted to get good at fighting and W-king and winning most of your fights? After countless research, I have compiled the best tips and gameplay examples of my own gameplay, of me applying these tips, and pro level gameplay involving these techniques. Now if this video does help you out at any point in time, please do subscribe and like the video on the road to 400, and let's try and hit 50 likes, because why not? Alright, now on to the examples. So the first tip I have for us high pingers is to carry a harpoon. If you carry a harpoon, you don't have to tunnel out to get loot like in endgame, especially with all the input delay. Put that on top of your ping, and you could just use your harpoon to grab the loot and get a refresh that way. And in trios, you could play the role of support and carry the harpoon that way, and then just stack fish for your IGL, and then get refreshes that way by harpooning loot in endgame. The harpoon is probably the most versatile weapon in Fortnite. You could propel your teammates, propel your enemies towards you, deal damage to your enemies, fish or insta-fish, different charges. You can even pick up loot and bring it towards you and your teammates. You should always harpoon loot in endgame, even if it's really close to you, just because when you go for loot, you could easily get server focus, and on a high ping plus the stacked input delay, you're gonna get shot through walls, so it's definitely way better to not get server focus and just grab the loot even if it's really close to you, because you don't want to take the chance. My second tip is to favor the attack over the pump. Nowadays, that's just what you have to do. If you're on high ping, then it's best to go with the attack, because with the pump out, you have to switch and follow it up with an SMG. Like, you hit someone with a pump, you have to follow it up with like an AR or an SMG, and between you switching your guns, it adds that input delay, especially endgame. Can't emphasize it enough in high level scrims. It's just not viable. It's not a viable option. You should carry the attack, especially if you're on high ping, and you don't have to switch your weapons that way and possibly lose a fight because of that. Now the choices between the pump and attack used to be a personal preference like back then, but the servers are really bad right now, so we'll just have to wait for season 3. Just for now, if you're on high ping, you should be favoring the attack over the pump because it's more optimal for you in the ways of, you know, the input delay between the pump and switching weapons, and how you don't have to switch weapons. It'll just be way more consistent for you. So now the third tip, and this is a major one, especially for tournaments, is to play for placement. Now if you look at the top pro level competitors like Nanolite, Letwiki, and Kiriachi, they're all high ping, like 40 ping and above. They all can play for placement when the time is right for it, especially Nanolite in the NA East region. He even proves my first tips to be right by always favoring attack and always carrying harpoon and never engaging fights if there's no need to. And he almost gets all of his points off of placement alone. And in that way, for when Trios comes out or any of the team events, if you get your placements up by playing for placement, then you'll be most likely able to get better teammates for once. And instead of blaming it on your ping, and there I know you're a good player because you've proven it by playing for placement and seeing that you can be patient and you know how to do smart rotations and disengage from fights. Now the fourth tip I have is to learn how to make smart rotations. This is especially useful for endgame. You always want to be peeking through your cone or whatever it is whenever there's downtime and the storm isn't moving, so you can plan out your next rotate. And we'll see examples like that from like Mitro and Kanata. Kanata, you know, is the rotate god in Souls, and probably one of the most consistent players. Even if he's low ping, you could still learn from the rotations and play for placement and learn how to conserve your mats and other resources, so that way you don't have to blame it that you just got server focused. The fifth tip I have is to deal quite a lot of damage before engaging in a either early game or mid game fight. We'll look at examples from Mitro and all the techniques he uses, but you always want to get those first couple of shield tags off, and that can put the fight in your favor, so it doesn't make it 50-50 anymore. It leans more towards your side, and you'll be more able to win now that you've taken some shield off of them, and now they have to play at a defense. Now, first person we're going to learn a technique from is Kiriachi. He's a Russian, about 40 to 50 ping, just like his duo Letwiki. Gets a nice shot right there, drops him down, then goes for a cut stare. Now his opponent cannot see his face. As you can see, he can only see his feet when they're both in opposite corners, but he edits a stare like that. Now he goes for another edit, blocking his line of sight again towards Kiriachi's head, and gets the easy shot on him, as you can see. Now to show off the trick that Kiriachi uses in his gameplay, now you're in a box, have the ramp, and you're wondering what to make, and your opponent is right here, right under the ramp, alright? You're wondering what to make, like try to make one of these, yeah, like phase 2, maybe him with one of these, you know. And what you should do is, if your opponent is right here, or even if he was like right here, it doesn't matter which direction it is. Like if he's in this corner, this way. If you're over here, the ramp's that way, this way. And if you come out, that's where I am. Brass, if I'm right here, he can't see your head, but if I go here, I can see his head. So make the edit, pump him in the head. From his point of view, if he's right here, waiting for you to make an edit, you make this edit. He's like, oh, what the heck? You jump down, you're right there. He can't shoot you, and obviously he's gonna have his crosshair placed in that head level. So it's gonna be very hard for him to flick down and hit your toes for like a low damage. And it's even better if you insta reset. So you like take the wall, hit him straight in the head, and from here, boom, clear as day, headshot 116 to head. And from his perspective, can't even touch your head, not at all. You have to move back, but by then you have already reset it. And it does work on a lot of people, because a lot of people, even though it's so simple, it's so effective. It's simple but effective. The last thing I'd like to mention before I end it is it's to place a cone instead of a stair when you like trap an opponent in a box, or if you're doing like a Mongo Classic. When you take the wall, you want to sneak a cone in instead of a stair, especially during endgame, so you don't have to go through the second motion and trying to edit this stair, and in that time they could have just edited out because of your input delay and extra ping. So like right here, just a quick example, I edit right hand corner peek, and this is probably a prominent example of situations that you would get in any box fight, early, mid game, end game. Instead of placing a stair and having to edit it to shoot him, and my opponent probably would have gone away, I just place a quick cone just so I can build and get a nice shot off. And just end it with a Mongo Classic. But yeah, it's a short but simple trick that you can implement into your games. If you're on high ping, I'd suggest placing cones, because like Nanolite does that a lot. I rarely see Nanolite place stairs. He always places cones, and just because he doesn't have to edit the cone, and it's just a lot easier for high ping players. If I can find a clip of that, I'll put it here. But I'm gonna end the video here. I should have a part 2 just because this is such a broad subject. I feel like it could help a lot of people. A second part 2 of this video coming up later this week, so I'm gonna end it here, and next time I'll do a sneak peek. I think next video will be more focused on the early game aspect. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. If this video helped you, I spent a lot of time making it, please do like and subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.